It's high noon.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Bronco's Gaming World. Bronco here. We're taking a look at the deck we're going to run today for our Arkham Horror Path to Carcosa campaign, The Phantom of Truth. I have only playtested this mission a couple of times. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. This is the deck that I'm kind of using. I had 8 experience coming into this one, so I ended up spending that 8 experience on a copy of the level 3 Moxie, which will give me a +1 brain, +1 foot, as well as allow me to boost. And then if I take any non-direct damage, I have to place that onto Moxie before it can be assigned. So any indirect damage has to go there. I also bought a Precious Memento to give me a place to hopefully dump some sanity damage, since I do have a pair of mental traumas. I also swapped a couple of cards, or at least one card, I think, with adaptive, and that was my gun. I swapped out the crappy pistol for the Mauser, which is still, it's mediocre, but better than the other one, I think. I also spent my last XP on a pair of lockpicks, and I swapped out an emergency cache for that. So there's the deck we're running today. Oh, and I got rid of one of the 2 copies of Leo that I had for the Moxie. So that's what we have there today. Let's take a look at our quest setup for today. We got the Phantom of Truth. Here we go. It says check your campaign log. If the king claimed its victims, read intro 1. He did not, so I'm on to intro number 2. It says it has been several weeks since the events in the asylum, and you are still no closer to the truth about the King in Yellow and Carcosa. You have scoured the city for signs of the others Daniel had mentioned, the ones who are opening the path to Carcosa, but found nothing. Either the trail has gone cold, or they're no longer in Arkham. Perhaps Daniel is truly insane, and you're only following him deeper down the rabbit hole. Every night you toss and turn as you're subjected to vivid dreams of Carcosa, its black stairs and twin suns and shattered moons and twisted spires. It says continue to dream one, don't get lost. Where is Dream 1? I like how they mixed them all up to kind of make it so that you can't just read it. It says Dream number 1. You fall through the empty abyss of Holly. Creatures of unknown and impossible origins lurk just beyond the darkness of your sight. Has, he who shall not be named looms above you, magnificent and yet bound in his prison of madness, manipulating your torturous descent with a sole outstretched arm. Each investigator has earned the lost soul's weakness. Okay. Shuffle 1 copy of this weakness into each investigator's deck and proceed to dream number 2. Dream number 2. Constance takes your hand and pulls you onto the polished dance floor. Come now, don't be shy. Tonight is the night for dancing, for celebration. In our campaign log, if the king claimed its victims, no. I did not intrude on a secret meeting. I did not slay the monsters. I am on to dream 6. Mm-mm. The lights of the theater dim and spotlight shines on the stage. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, the creature explains. Its many tentacles reach across the stage, up into the rafters, and throughout the aisles. It tears the curtains down, and tattered red cloth falls over its bulbous form. If the police are suspicious, continue to 8. Nope, or to 7. Instead, go to 8. Dream 8. You peer in the mirror, and the stranger peers back at you. His gaze drills into your mind. The mirror shatters. I have 3 or fewer tally marks under chasing the stranger, so I proceed to dream 9. You chase the stranger through dark, chilly passageways composed of hundreds of thousands of skeletal bodies. Skulls watch as you run, their mouths rattling a mocking taunt as you pass. The stranger reaches a solid wall of bone and is grabbed by bony hands and pulled into the wall. Their mocking laughs reach an awful crescendo. Proceed to dream 13. Daniel's voice calls out to you. They're opening the path to Carcosa. To the awakening. You awaken from your fitful dream, sweating and gagging. This cannot go on any longer. You have only one option if you're going to continue your investigation. You must find Nigel Akrham, the director of the King in Yellow, and an architect of this madness. Only he will have the answers you seek. You pack your bags and plan your trip to Paris, the City of Lights. Check our campaign log if Jordan Perry is listed on VIPs interviewed. Proceed to his information. He is not, so we head to the setup. Here we go. All right, so we gather all the cards from the following sets: A Phantom of Truth, The Evil Portents, Bayaki, The Stranger, The Agents of Heel Shall Not Be Named, and the Midnight Masks. Set these sets aside by the following icons. With the Midnight Masks, we only use the 5 Treachery cards, the 2 False Leads, and 3 Hunting Shadows. We have more conviction than doubt. We have 2 conviction and 1 doubt. Yes, 2 conviction and 1 doubt. So we will remove the Twin Suns and the 3 copies of Hunting Shadows from the game. Oh, excuse me. If I have more conviction than doubt, I will set the Black Stars Rise and the copies of False Leads and remove them. I will use the Parisian Conspiracy version 2. Then I choose one of those locations at random and put them into play. We start at Gare d'Orsay. Organist Enemy out of play. Set those out of play. Shuffle the remainder cards. There's what it's going to look like. And here is our board. Bang. All right, so here is our copy of Lost Soul. I also need to add a copy of The Man in the Pallid Mask. So let me go add him really quick. Oops, that's not how you type. There we go. So he is there. Let's look at our opening hand before we go any farther. So we have Moxie, perfect. Emergency Cash is good. Whoa, the Precious Memento is also nice. And Perception. The only thing I'm missing is an actual weapon, like way to fight. I know that I'm going to need to be able to investigate pretty well. Moxie will not help me with that. However, I do have Streetwise, which will boost my brain. The Emergency Cast will help there. Dodging will help. Man, you know what? I'm going to keep that hand. I'm good. So we will shuffle these 2 weaknesses into our deck. And then here are the Twin Suns and the Hunting Shadows that will go into the encounter deck. They're down here. So here we go. So this scenario is a little goofy because you don't want to. I actually want the Doom counter to go and to go quickly in this one instead. So it's kind of a weird mechanic. But let's go ahead and read the act or agenda 1. The first night, as you step off the train in Gare d'Orsay, the sun sinks below the Paris skyline. You cannot waste any time. If Nigel Akrham is somewhere in Paris, you have to find him and wring the answers from him one way or another. While you have more conviction than doubt, the agenda gains when checking the Doom threshold. Doom on cards other than this agenda subtract from the total Doom in play instead of adding to it, so that sucks. That freaking sucks. The Act 1A is the Parisian Conspiracy version 2. You pass the Church of St. Barnaby as you exit the train station and cannot help but overhear the organ playing. Is there a sermon this late in the evening? You marvel at the wild and strange chords for a moment before continuing. Paris is a big city and you have very few leads. Our objective is spend the requisite number of clues to advance, so that's 2 per player, so just 2. Or at the end of the round, if there are 3 or more Doom in play, advance. We're definitely going to try to get it done with the 2 clues because I'm pretty sure we take horror damage the other way. So I do have 2 mental trauma, so I will start with 2 on me. That is just to represent the fact that I have only a sanity of 5 instead of 7. So I can only get 7 total, but I can't go lower than 2. So with all of that, let's take a look at the Phantom of Truth game card here, and it shows us all the specific tokens. So the specific tokens I have to put in, I have to go make sure I have the right ones. I need to put I need to put 2 elder things into the bag and remove everything else. So let's go ahead and add the elder things. Elder, there we are. Add 2 of those. So there they are. And I don't believe the bag has anything else, so I'll check it just to make sure. Yeah, I don't think it has, and no cultists or anything, so we're good there. And we'll add the 2 elder things to the bag and shuffle it up. All right, we're ready to go, guys. So here's the token. So the skull is -X, or X is the amount of doom in play. That is terrible. And we don't have any of the cultists or tablets, but we do have the elder things, and the elder things are -2, and if we fail, we lose a resource for each point we fail by, so that's awful. And we start at Garda Orsay. All right, and Garda Orsay says, built in 1900, this train station was the first urban station in the world to use only electric trains. Cool bit of trivia knowledge there. We'll bring that to the front. And we flip Garda Orsay. It says it's a Paris rail location with a shroud of 4. 1 clue here. And it says I can spend a resource to move to any rail location. You'd expect the station to be bustling, but it's eerily abandoned, save for a few passengers who wander the station in slow, meandering steps. Everybody's weird. Everywhere we go, everybody's weird. Okay, so here we go. This is the first turn for us. So because I don't want to get all out of sorts here, I'm going to put Moxie out. Let's go ahead and put Moxie into play. It's costs free. It's nothing. So we will put Moxie into play. Put that over here. Man. Yeah, so let's I'll go ahead and for my second action I'll play my emergency cash. And then my third action I'm going to play my precious memento. So that's just going to be the 3 that I would have got for emergency cash. So that still leaves us at 5. That gives me the 3 extra sanity just in case things get crazy. And then I can technically heal it if I succeed by too much. So Moxie will boost my brain and foot by 1 each, which is huge. It gives me a 4 on both of those. And that's my 3 actions. So let's go ahead and proceed to the next round. Man of Pallid Mask shows, we always like him. Spawn at the farthest location from all investigators. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's got to go over there. So he's over here. That's not the card you want to draw right off the bat. I mean, he's not that big of a deal, but he still kind of sucks. Gives him +2 Shroud, which I actually think that location Shroud is pretty low. All right, we do have a Doom here. Here comes our encounter card. Incoming, we have the Torturous Chords. It's a Hex Terror with a revelation of test Brain 5. If I fail, I put Torturous Chords into play into my threat area with 1 resource on it for each point I failed by. So this is the one that makes my cards cost more. All right, so it's Brain 5. I can boost with Moxie. So I'm a Brain 4, Brain 5, Brain 6. I'll be Brain 7. Brain 7 to pass this test. Cast bag says -1. We're good. 6 versus 5. We win that, so it goes away. Okay. We've made it past 1. All right, so here we're looking at a Shroud of 4, my skill of 3. I'm going to go ahead and investigate with my first action. I will spend 2 for Streetwise. And Streetwise will give me a +3 book. So I am now a 6 book versus a Shroud of 4. And here we go. Draws another -1. So we gain that clue. We've got one of the 2 clues we need. Our second action, we'll go ahead and move to the Montparnasse. This area, known for its cafes and bars, is often frequented by starving artists. Perhaps some of these creative types will become famous someday. Most, you assume, will fade into obscurity. And we flip it, and we get a Shroud 2. One clue here. It says we can discard a card from our hand to gain resources equal to the number of willpower icons on the discarded card. All right, so my third action, I'm going to investigate here again. I will use my perception card this time. So that gives me a 5 versus a Shroud of 3. Chaos Bag gives us a -2, so we're still good. Boom. And there we go. I do get to draw a card for that. Lockpicks, that's nice. Okay, so I do have, it doesn't cost us an action, so I can spend, it's my turn still, so I can spend the requisite clues to advance the Parisian conspiracy. So let's flip it. True evil. If I spent clues to advance, the organ you heard earlier continues to haunt you. No matter where you are, the torturous chords play over and over in your head. The sensation that you are being watched tugs at your mind. Spawn the set-aside organist enemy at the location farthest from all investigators, with the hopeless I defied him side face up. Then advance to Act 2A, Stalked by Shadows. Okay, so let's go get the organist. I think he's over here. There he is. He's the draped in mystery is on the top. Flip him. No. Draped in mystery. No. We want the other side. All right. So the organist, hopeless I defied him. He's a fight 5. He has no health and 3 foot. He's a humanoid avatar elite. He's a hunter and he cannot be damaged. That's why he has no hit points. It says forced after the organist moves from the hunter keyword. If it is unengaged, resolved its hunter keyword again. The organist cannot attack this phase. And it says he can do that once per round. So he can, theoretically, if he's 2 away from me, he can move twice. And his damage is a horrific 3 horror. The point from which it would strike with his infernal eyes is the quote from the King in Yellow. All right, and it says he spawns at the location farthest from us. We're here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We'll put him over here. So there he goes. He's going to be over there. And now we advance to Stalked by Shadows. Stalked by Shadows, Act 2A. I knew that every time I met him brought him nearer to the accomplishment of his purpose in my fate, and still I tried to save myself. Lightning action. I can spend 1 clue as a group to either place 1 doom on the current agenda or automatically evade the organist. I can do that once per round. And the objective is I have to survive 3 nights. So here we go. So now the cat and mouse game is in play. So I investigated here, and I moved and investigated here, so that is the end of my turn. It is the enemy's phase. He is a hunter, so he will move once towards me. And then we will check his text. His text says that he is unengaged, so we will resolve his hunter keyword again. So he will move here, and he can do that limit once per round, so he is done. So he has moved 2 towards me. Okay. Here we go. On to the next round. We drew Think on Your Feet. That'll help us if any of the crazy Bayeki enemies do anything. He just stays there. He's just hanging out in the cemetery, creepy ass. And let's go ahead and pull our encounter card for the turn. Hunted by a Bayeki. It's a Pact Treachery. It says Revelation Test Foot 6. If I fail, I reveal the top X cards of the encounter deck, where X is the amount I failed by. If at least 1 Bayeki enemy is revealed by this effect, choose and draw 1 of them. If at least 1 Omen Treachery is revealed by this effect, take 1 horror and then shuffle the encounter deck. So it's a foot 6. I have a foot of 4. I can be at foot 7 if I do my Streetwise, which I will do that. So I'm a foot 7. Foot 7 will have to do. Elder sign. Excellent. So we succeed, and it goes away. So far, so good. All right, our turn. I want to keep away from him, so I want to be able to... He's going to get to me this next turn. There's nothing I can do about it. He won't attack me, so I'll just have to evade him. What I desperately need to accomplish, though, is I need to find the clues that I need. So we will go... Because he's going to get to me either way. He'll go here to here. Or here to here. Actually, if I move up to Le Maurice, or however you say that. My French is terrible, so I'm going to butcher the living hell out of the names of some of these places. I could go 1, 2, but I won't be able to investigate. I would actually rather investigate with a shot of potentially finding what I need to, or gathering clues to try to remember if this is any good or not. I don't really want to be there, I know that much. He's gonna get to me anyway because I'm going to investigate. So I'm going to go to the gardens. It says the Gardens of Luxembourg is a Paris location. The Gardens of Luxembourg Palace contain hundreds of scattered statues, monuments, and fountains. It would make for a relaxing walk if you hadn't come here to escape the winged creatures that screech and soar in the dark sky overhead. Yeah, that's not good. All right, so we've got one clue here. 3 shroud. It says, while a Bayaki enemy is moving, if there is an investigator at the Gardens of Luxembourg, that enemy's location is considered to be connected to the Gardens of Luxembourg. So if I'm here and a Bayaki shows up, he can move to me no matter where he is. All right, so one action's there. My second action, I will... Man, the lockpicks would sure be nice to help me here. But I don't... I would have to waste the other 2 actions just to get him out. I could dodge him if I absolutely had to. But first, let's go ahead and investigate here. 1, 2, giving me a 6 versus 3. And we draw the Elder Thing. The Elder Thing says -2, so we're good. So we did grab a clue here. And... he's coming at me. I think I'm just going to gear up and get ready for him. Yeah, because he's gonna move anyway. So I will. I'm gonna generate a resource. That way I have a little bit extra. Okay. So that is the end of my turn. The organist is going to come at me, bro. So he now engages me. So we'll put him over here. He does not attack this phase, though. So he is on me, but he does not attack. So I will not take any damage from him this turn. But he is engaged with me, so I'm going to have to get away from him. And I would prefer to just avoid him traditionally and not have to use my 1 clue. But I may just burn a clue to get away from him for free. And then walk away. All right, here we go. Ready for the next round? Boom. Awesome. Drew a weakness. Oh, fuck me in the goat ass. All right, so paranoia makes me discard all my resources. Absolute terrible. What was that noise? That noise was all your money going out the window. All right, paranoia goes bye-bye, but it did its job. It totally cornholed me. All right, here we go. Encounter card, inbound. Got to hunt it by the Bayaki again. This is going to be poor because I can't do a whole lot to boost it. I don't have any actual money. So yeah, let's go. It's odd that Jenny is the one who doesn't have any money. That's a foot 6 against our foot of 4. I can boost it by 1 if I needed to, because I don't have any resources because of the horrific paranoia draw. Let's go at 6 versus 4. Oh! Still failed. It does not matter. I think it was automatically failed. Because it just gives me plus the, I get +1 for each resource. I don't have any. It was like that's like the straight up kick in the dick right there. I mean, come on. All right, so we fail that. So now we fail by 2. So I will reveal cards from the encounter deck until, so here we go. Let's go. 1. There's an Omen. We didn't want that. And there's a Bayaki. Yay! So we got both of the things that are on the card. What a literal kick in the balls that whole little transaction was. If at least one Bayaki enemy is revealed by this effect, choose and draw one of them. If at least one Omen Treachery is revealed, take a horror. So I will take a horror. I'll put that on my guy here. And then the Bayaki is the Swift Bayaki, and he is on me. Outstanding turn. We really appreciated that. Alright, so it is our turn. I have no resources in my hand. I don't even have a way to fight because my card draws were not good. I do have a clue, so I could evade the Organist. I could evade him as well. Yeah, let's go ahead and I'm going to spend my 1 clue to evade the Organist. Okay, so we used our clue to exhaust the Organist. I gotta deal with this guy. He's gonna come at me anyway. He's not that tough, but I have literally no way to deal with him. So I do think it's still smarter for me to try to evade him. So I'll use my first action to evade him. I am an evade 4 versus 2. So we're up by 2. That's going to have to be good enough. So we will evade him. -2 is good. We're still on point. So he is also exhausted, which will keep them from chasing me for a turn. My second action, I will move to Notre Dame. Notre Dame says it's the most famous cathedral in all of Paris and one of the finest examples of the Gothic architecture in the world. Notre Dame de Paris is Our Lady of Paris is an icon of the city. Light shines out from its stained glass windows, and you can hear a pipe organ inside blaring bizarre, chaotic melody. I hate that I had to go this way because I would have preferred to gone back to the train station and moved to like Les Maries or something like that. But because I don't have any actual money, because randomly she doesn't actually have any, so we'll go here instead. And we have a Shroud 3. 1 clue here. The enemies get -1 to fight, but they're +1 to evade, which is why I didn't want to move here the previous turn, just in case I wanted to evade the Organist traditionally. It would have been harder for me to evade that asshole. I can test Brain 6. If I succeed, I can place 1 Doom on the current agenda, or remove a Doom from the current agenda. So depending on what direction I want to go, I can add another Doom here. I don't have a way to get myself to Brain 6, so we're not going to worry about that right now. So evade, move. We're even up. It's a 3 versus 3 here. I really don't want to lose my lockpicks because they help so much. Think on your feet. Allows me to run away from like Bayakis, but they're just going to chase me. I'll go ahead and discard it to investigate. I'll be a 4 versus a 3. Here we go. -1. Good call. So we got our clue here. We did have to lose a card that I wanted to keep, but that was worth it. All right, so evade, move, investigate. That's our turn. We're ready for the next round, so those guys ready. But they don't do anything else. They don't move because they were tired. And we drew Leo. Terrible draw for us right now because he costs 5. And our encounter card. We did at least get some resources. It's a treachery. It's a hunting shadow curse. Has the peril keyword, which in a multiplayer game means only the player who drew the card can deal with it. Says a revelation. I must either choose to spend 1 clue or take 2 damage. I am absolutely going to take a damage. Hell, I'm going to take 2 damage. We'll put those damage on the memento. And it does have a cool flavor text. It says a shadowy figure follows you in the rain. When you look at it, your head pounds in agony and your vision blurs. That's pretty creepy as hell. All right, so it is our turn. All right, let's go ahead and move to Les Marais. And that says this historic district has recently become less aristocratic, but the old architectural masterwork remains. We flip that. Has a 1 shroud with 1 clue in it. It says after you enter Les Marais for the remainder of the round, you cannot leave. Okay, well, that's fine. They're both going to get to me anyway. Throughout this region, you cannot shake the feeling that you're being watched. Something along the rooftops ducks just out of sight as each time you peer upward. All right, but there is a clue here, so, and that's an easy one. Easy. We'll see about that. So it is a test 3 versus 1. So 1 action to move here. 2nd action to investigate, up by 2. We drew a 0. We get the clue here. That does help us a lot. I cannot leave here. So with that, I am going to generate a resource. And that is the end of my turn. So the hunters are going to hunt. He moves here. Checks, not engaged. He moves here. And engages me. He does the same thing because he's going to move. Instead, he moves 1 location at a time until he enters a prey location. So he's going to go here. Nope. Here. There he is. Neither one of them attack me this turn. So that's helpful. But they're both on me again, so I'm going to have to make the same kind of choice as I did the previous time. The good part about that, though, is that I'm able to, hey, perfect draw there. I'm able to evade, and now I have 5 resources, which is helpful. Really tempting to play Leo there, because getting that extra action is going to be huge. But I'll have to pay for it by having no resources for a while. Okay, so here we go. Our draw for the turn. We have the Twisted to his will. If there's no doom in play, Twisted his will gain surge. Oh, there is. Otherwise, we test Brain X, where X is the amount of doom on it. If I fail, I discard 2 cards from my hand. That is horrendous, but I don't have much of a choice. I'm not even going to boost it, because if I have to discard 2 cards, it is what it is. It sucks. But, I mean, I'd be in a 4. I could boost it by 1. 1 to be even. So I will boost it by 1, so I'm even. Yeah. 1 bias, 1, so I'm even. We get a +1. Holy shit. We actually succeeded at that. That would have actually succeeded last time. Or if I didn't spend it. Alright, so good. Get out of here. Alright, now these guys are on me. I mean, I hate to... Got 1 more turn until the night passes. Oh, I want to deal with him. Gets +2 shroud. If you succeed, instead of discovering clues, defeat the man in the pallid mask. Yeah, I don't like to... Shit. Okay, so I'm going to spend a clue to tell the organist to go to sleep so he can take a nap. Good night. And I still don't have any weapons or a way to fight him, so I'm gonna evade him. He's a 2 versus my 4. I will use my manual dexterity to be up by a crap load. -1, so we succeed in evading him as well. As soon as I'm able to actually get to draw a card for that. Into some booze. Okay. So 1 action to evade. My second action, I will move here to the Canal Saint Martin. It's a Paris location. This underground canal connects the river Seine to the Canal del. An old cracked staircase leads down the canal's entrance. And it has a 4 shroud. 1 clue here. After I evade an enemy at the canal, move that enemy to a connecting location. Okay. It's a 4 shroud. That blows. Okay. Man. So evade, move. God. I need to get those lockpicks out. They're going to move on top of me. This guy will actually attack me. Actually, he won't because he'll be exhausted, so they're not going to move. You know what? Now's as good a time as any. Evade, move. I'm going to go ahead and play my lockpicks. 1, 2, 3. Let's put those out there. Get them out. Boom. All right, here we go. You guys up a little bit here. All right, so now I got the lockpicks out. That's going to be a big deal. They are a hand tool, though, which does hurt a little bit. But that's okay. Okay, so that's my third action. We are going to be ready for the round because none of the enemies are going to move. They're going to just ready. Get up. That does trigger. We drew a bandolier. That's nice for us. We like the bandolier. That will trigger the end of the first night. So let's go ahead and flip the card and let's see. It says daybreak. Birds start to chirp eagerly. An orange tint slowly spreads across the sky as the creatures of the night shrink back into the darkness. You spend most of the day resting, and the daylight passes quickly with very little to show for it. Before you're able to fully recover from the previous night's events, it's evening once more. Each investigator disengages from each enemy engaged with him or her and may move to a connecting location. The organist, so let's go ahead. I am going to move to a connecting location. I would love to get farther away, but my connecting location would be here. Okay. And move the organist 1 location away from the nearest investigator to a location with no investigators if possible. So we would move him 1 away, which is I'll put him down here. All right. We have done those. Now we are on to the next agenda. Reveal the next agenda. The second night. The city stirs as cold shadows embrace the streets. There is danger all around you. Danger that you cannot escape. Danger that will follow you to the ends of the earth. When will this waking nightmare end? While I have more conviction than doubt, this agenda gains when checking Doom threshold. Doom on cards other than this agenda subtract from the total Doom in play instead. So, okay. So we're still there. All right. So we are now looking to draw an encounter card. And that encounter card is a Treachery, Deadly Fate, an Omen Revelation, Test Brain 3. If I fail, I discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until an enemy is discarded, and I must either draw that enemy or that enemy attacks me from the discard pile. If no enemy is discarded this way, take 1 horror instead. Let's just pass the Test 3 and not worry about it. All right, so it is a Test 3. I am a brain 4. I do have Moxie. Okay, it's not the worst thing in the world. I can actually take an attack. So I'm just gonna go ahead and be at a 4 versus 3 and see what happens. It auto fails. Cool. All right, so we fail. We discard cards from the top and counter deck until an enemy is discarded. All right, so here we go. Okay. Nope. Nope. Man, it would have been a while for an enemy. There he is. And he'll attack. Ooh, he does 2 damage. Um, that's fine. I'll go ahead and let him attack me from. I'll go ahead and I'll just take the 2 damage. So, and a horror. I'll put that over there. I probably could have succeeded at that a couple of times and gotten rid of that, but I forgot to do that. So let's try to keep that in mind. Or if I fail by 2 or more, I exhausted to heal damage, which would also be nice. Okay, so that is the end of that. So it is our turn. Okay, so now we're at Montmartre. Montmartre says you've heard this district to be vibrant and friendly, but the streets feel unusually lonely to you. It's a Shroud 3, Paris Rail location, with 1 clue here. It says I can reveal the top card of each investigator's deck. I may play an asset revealed by this effect, paying its cost. Under your control, shuffle each investigator's deck. I can do it once per round. So as the cold rain pelts the streets, every alleyway you pass is another hiding place for something sinister. So I can spend an action to do that. I don't really want to do that right now. All right, so they're both ready. He's going to go 1, 2, or 1, 2. So I need to be either here or here. So I can't investigate here, though, to start. It's a Shroud 3. I do have, 1 clue on me? I will do that. I will go ahead and exhaust my lockpicks to investigate, and I can add my foot value to my skill for this investigation, but I must succeed by at least 2. All right, so I'm going to be at +4. So I am a skill 7 versus 3. We drew a 0, so we succeeded. So I don't use a lockpick supply, but I do successfully gain a clue there. So that's 1 action. My second action, I will move up here to the Grand Guignol, the Theater of the Great Puppet. Le Théâtre du Grand Guignol specializes in horror shows of a graphic and sometimes amoral nature. It is among the smallest venues in Paris and one of the most popular. It is a Paris location with a 3 shroud and 1 clue. It says, after I reveal the Grand Guignol, I must either take 2 horror or shuffle all of the non-weakness cards from my hand into my deck. I'll go ahead and just shuffle I'll just shuffle and redraw. It's fine. I can live with that. I'm kind of stuck without playing. I mean, the only one I'd want to play is maybe Liquid Courage. The dodge is nice, but maybe I'll actually draw some weapons that I can use to fight the Bayaki that's chasing me around. Okay, so we'll shuffle those and draw 4 more cards. It's obviously it's looking for you to draw your weaknesses, which there's a good chance I'll draw 1. 2. There it is. 3, 4. Well, I found the switchblade. That'll help. All right. Lost Soul. It's a Madness Pact weakness. Check my campaign log. If I have more doubt than conviction, I do not. I have more conviction than doubt. Test brain X, where X is my current knowledge. If I fail, I take 2 damage. Okay. So I have a brain 4 versus a knowledge of 3. So if I fail, let's put it into play here. If I fail, I take 2 damage. So I'm up by 1. I don't really want to boost it. I really don't. No, I really, really don't want to boost it. So yeah, but I will. I'll boost it so I'm up by 2. Here we go. Up by 2. Skull. Hey, that's a great time for that one. Because there are no doom in play, so that is a victory. So the lost soul goes bye-bye. We have succeeded in holding back the yellow, the king in yellow brain melt. All right, so I investigated, moved, and my last action, I am going to play Lone Wolf. And put Lone Wolf into play. That way I can generate some extra resources. I have the Switchblade so that when it comes to fighting, I at least have a chance to fight a little better. Love to have something that says I can add my like a lockpick to my fighting. I bet there is something, but I bet it's my Guardian card. All right, that's the end of my turn. So let's go ahead and move the hunters. So he moves 1, he moves 2, so he engages me, but he can't attack. And he's gonna move. Holy crap! What happened there? He is going to move 1. Check. He's not engaged. He'll move 2, so he's there. So this clown's engaged with me, but he doesn't fight, so he doesn't do any damage to me. And he moved and can't engage me. So that's the end of the turn. We'll be ready for the next round. We drew a perception. Perfect. Encounter card. Get the hunting shadow. I must either spend 1 clue or take 2 damage. I forgot to go ahead and get rid of the horror for succeeding by 2 when I did the investigating. So now it'll be back up again. Do not really want to take 2 damage. Really don't. 2 damage put me halfway dead. I'll take 2 damage this time. But I don't, because I don't want to spend those clues. I really don't. Okay, so here we go. This guy is on me. I don't even have a good way to boost my fight. I would need Hard Knocks to boost my fight. I do generate an extra resource for Lone Wolf. God, he's not that hard to beat. He's going to be on me anyway. He's a fight 2. I'm a fight 3. I don't have a way to boost my fight. That's the hard part. I just don't. I don't have a good way to boost my fight. Because I need Hard Knocks in play to do that, and I don't want to get hit again. So I'm leaning towards evading him. Yeah, I'll evade him again. So I will spend 2 to boost my foot so that I'm evading for 7 against his 2. Skull, -1. So we're good. So he's evaded again. Like, I want to actually fight and kill this guy, but I don't feel like it's wise to do that at this moment. All right, so we have a 3 shroud here. I can investigate. I will. I'll be up by 2 using my perception. We are up by 2. -2 is success. So we have found that clue there. that gets discarded, but we get to draw a card for succeeding, and we found the sacrificial beast! We'll put the sacrificial beast someplace where I ain't going. I don't have any reason to go here, I don't think. He goes at the farthest location from me. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Here's equally as far. No, I'm not going to go back down here. So he can go hang out there. He doesn't hunt or anything. He just hangs out there. So he'll go there. Okay. All right. So I evaded him. I successfully investigated. I need to move because he's going to engage me right away if I don't. I'll go ahead and move here for my third action to the Opera Grenier. It says the Police Grenier is an ornate architectural masterpiece and one of the most famous opera houses in the world. Strangely, you find the main doors thrown wide open and a dark mist creeps out from the doorway. That sounds freaking terrible. Inside, we find that it is a Paris rail location. While I'm investigating Opera Grenier, double the number of skill icons on cards committed to skill tests. A trail of blood leads up the grand staircase. Deep, cold mist envelops the room. You get the unmistakable feeling that there's something inhuman in the opera house. Okay. So that is our third action. Because we evaded, investigated, moved. A 5 shroud with 1 clue on it. That's poor. Okay. There we go. So let's move the enemies. He's exhausted. He will move to me and he engages. He does not attack this phase. So he is on me again. We will just evade him, auto evade him next turn. I'm not going to even bother spending anything to do anything otherwise. So we're ready for the next round. We drew our bandolier again. He's up there pissed off and ready. And our encounter card is the Torturous Chords. It's a Hex Terror Treachery with a revelation of Brain 5. If you fail, put Torturous Chords into play in my threat area with 1 resource on it for each point I fail by. So that's the one that causes my cards to cost more. I don't really like you right now. I do not like you. However, comma, I also need to be able to do other things with my resources. So things costing 1 more for a limited amount of time is probably tolerable. Because I'm not going to play a ton of my cards. I don't like it though, man. I don't like it. I'll discard 1 to make me even. Or at least even. So when I lose, I'll only lose by however many it gives me. 0! Boom! Or succeed. Holy shit. Okay, so we succeeded. So it is our turn now. I am going to automatically evade the Man in the Pallid Mask. Or not the Man in the Pallid Mask, the Organist. So he will become exhausted. Ugh. I can investigate here. Or I can go to a rail location. After I enter there. It's tough. I want to get here. Not a rail location. Not a rail location. I can go there. If I go there, it traps me there. I can't do anything. Let's play Hard Knocks for my second action, or my first action. Let's get that in play. I don't know why it puts it right on top. It's kind of dumb. Oh, and I generated a resource for a Lone Wolf. Let's do that. Oops. Let's move it. Okay, so now we have Hard Knocks out so I can boost my fighting. So I actually have a shot to beat this Bayeki asshole because he's coming at me. So if I use my lockpicks, I would be up by 2. I wouldn't have to, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to gamble. We'll roll the dice. I'm going to end up using a lockpick resource at minimum, but we'll investigate with our second action. And we got a 0. So we succeed. We actually succeed by 2, so I don't lose a lockpick. Okay. In our third action, I will move to here. So play Hard Knocks, investigate, move. That's our turn. The Bayeki will move 2, so he engages me, but he won't attack again because he moved more than once. He's taking a nap, so that's the end of the round. 2 more to get through here. That's terrible. And that is an encounter card. Oh, another Swift Bayeki. Yay. Hooray. All right, well now we're at the point where we got to fight. It's time to fight. I don't want to fight though. Really don't. You suck so bad. All right, so he's on me. Could evade both of them and then move here. I still don't have really the best way to fight, and I still can't beat both of them. So I'm going to evade. I'll evade. I'm going to evade one of them. I'm up by 2. I'll discard a resource to Hard Knocks to be up by 3. Perfect. Barely, but perfect. So we exhaust 1. Put him back over there. I will do the same thing. I will spend 1 for Hard Knocks to draw -1 and evade him. So those are 2 of my actions. No. So both of them are taking a nap. And my next action will be to move to the Canal Saint Martin, which is fine. Yep. Okay, so that's the end of the turn. He's going to move 2. 1, 2. Again, he doesn't attack me, so he's on me again. That's fine. And we're going to ready for the next round. Bam. So they're ready again. Drew another copy of Lone Wolf. That is just a discard. Okay, 1 more to get out of here. Another Torturous Chords. So again, I will just spend 1 to make us even. And I draw -1, so we do miss it this time, but it's only the next card. But the tough part is that now it's +2 because of this stupid clasp. So playing cards from my hand is going to be a pricey venture. Well, we are going to get Lone Wolf, though, to replace that one. I need to evade this clown. He has an evade 3. However, if I evade him here, I can move him to a connecting location, which is nice. I can kick him backwards. Not that it matters, really. These guys are the ones that matter, because they're both going to fly to me again. I really would like to spend a clue to get to... I'll go ahead and spend a clue to evade him automatically. So he is exhausted, and this location says that after I make an evade an enemy at Canal Saint Martin, I can move that enemy to a connecting location. See ya. Get back there. And that did not cost me an action. That's just what it is. So I will move 1 to the Père Lachaise Cemetery. Man of Pallid Mask there is going to engage me. Actually, no, he doesn't. He's aloof. He's freaking aloof. This is the largest cemetery in Paris and its first garden cemetery. Père Lachaise is as beautiful as it is haunting. There is 2 clues here with a 1 shroud. It says, after I successfully investigate Père Lachaise Cemetery, I cannot leave Père Lachaise Cemetery until the end of the round. Paths of stone wind through rows of graves and countless mausoleums. The dense, twisting cemetery has you trapped in a state of melancholy, surrounded by death on all sides. Alright, so Man in Pallid Mask says I can investigate, I can take an action to investigate, and my location will get +2 shroud, and if I succeed, instead of discovering clues, I can defeat the Man in Pallid Mask. He's aloof, so he's not engaged with me. So I don't give a shit about him. I don't care. I know that it's probably better if I continuously defeat him, but I think I'm just going to investigate. I think I'm just going to investigate like normal and tell him to fuck off, because I don't care about him. I'm sure later on it's going to totally screw me, but right now I don't care about him. So it's a Shroud 1. My knowledge is 3, so I am up by 2. I really don't want to spend the resources, so I'm just gonna roll the dice and say that we're up by 2. So let's do it. We get a -1, so we get a clue here. I'll investigate a second time since I can't do anything else. Up by 2. We get another -1. So I gain 2 more clues here, which is fantastic. I already used my ability here to spend a clue to automatically evade the organist. Next turn I can use a clue to spike to the next knight. All right, so here we go. That is the end of my turn. These 2 b-holes are going to come join me. But they moved 2, so they don't attack. But now I have 2 guys on me. But that is going to end the round. So ready the organist. 5 triggers the end of the night. So let's flip it. A red sun rises. To your relief, the sun once again begins to rise, peaking just over the eastern horizon and casting long shadows across the city streets. You're completely exhausted from the night's events. It feels as though you haven't slept in weeks. Perhaps you haven't. Each investigator disengages from each enemy engaged with him or her and may move to a connecting location. Move the organist 1 location away from the nearest investigator to a location with no investigators as possible. No problem, we'll put him over here. I will disengage from these 2 jackasses. And I will... Oh, I didn't investigate there. I will go... Man, there is like no clues left, so I'm just moving at this point. I will move... I cannot leave for the remainder of the round, so that's now. If I go in there, I still can't move. So I would be better served to go here. Check the campaign log. If Jordan Perry is not listed on the VIP Slain, we put him into play in the and spawn him down here at Montparnasse. Okay, it's fine. Here he comes. We've got him. We've got him right there. He is. And we'll flip him. There he is. There's our friend, an imposing presence, Jordan Perry. He's a 2-fight, 8 health, 2-foot monster lunatic elite hunter. Says at the beginning of the enemy phase, he heals 1 damage. Some cigar smoke permeates the room, causing you to cough and wheeze. When he attacks, he does 1 damage and 1 horror. He's worth no victory points. There's absolutely no reason whatsoever to do anything with that guy. All right, so these guys are disengaged. They are not exhausted. They get disengaged. So they are going to go find me next time. And we move on to the next agenda. The next agenda is the third night. On the evening of the third night in Paris, a desperate resolve stirs within you. This cat and mouse game cannot go on any longer. One way or another, this night will end. And it has the same doubt conviction when checking the doom threshold on cards other than its agenda. Subtract the total doom in play instead of adding to it. Okay, so that is just the agenda advancement. Now we will draw our encounter card for this turn. And it is the yellow sign. It is an omen treachery with a revelation of test brain 4. And if I fail, I take 2 horror. And I search my deck for a madness weakness and draw it and shuffle my deck. So we do not want to fail that. I am a brain 4 versus a test of 4. I can discard some cards, or not some, I can discard some. Ooh, I like the unexpected courage. We'll use that there. And I will burn 1. So I'm up by 3. We succeed. So that goes there. The yellow sign does not take hold of us. Let's read the cool flavor text. They came slowly to me as if I had forgotten them, and at last I could make some sense out of the sounds. It was this. Have you found the yellow sign? No, I have not. Keep it away from me. All right, so that is our turn. I'll generate a resource for Lone Wolf. I will investigate. Actually, I'm going to spend a clue to put 1 doom on the agenda. I will investigate here at a 4 versus a 3. I can boost by my Streetwise. I will do so. 1, 2. So I'm a 6 versus a 4. And we draw a -2. That is a success. So I do have the ability to use another clue. So 1 action to investigate. Second action, I will move to Montmartre. So I can reveal. I could use an action to reveal that. I think I will. Because he's a hunter too, so he's going to start coming at me, bro. I don't know. I'll probably put him this way. You know what? I will use an action here. Let's peek at the top card. It is an Arcane Studies that would cost me 3. Doesn't really do me any good. It's an asset. I could play it. It would cost me 3 to play it, but it would get rid of this. I don't think so. It's not worth it. Okay. I'm going to draw it at the end of the turn anyway. All right, so investigate, move, and reveal the top card. So I am done. Enemies are going to move. He's going to engage me. What's up? These 2 guys are going to move. No, I don't need a Mana Pal Mask. They move 1. They move 2. So again, they don't attack me. They just show up. That is the end of the round. The arcane studies we knew we were going to. And our encounter card is a Marked by the Sign. It is a Pact Treachery with the peril keyword and has a revelation of test brained 2. If I fail, I take 2 horror. If the Man in the Pallid Mask is in play, horror dealt by this effect is considered direct horror and has a test of +2 difficulty. So it is a test 4, which means I can't, with it being direct, I have to put it on me. I can't put it elsewhere. Okay, so it is a test 4 versus 4. I don't really want to take 2 horror, like at all. Should use my lockpicks at the when I investigated up there. I forgot about that. I'll go ahead and discard Arcane Stunnies to make it a 5. I'll discard 1 for Moxie to make it 6. 0, we succeed. Discard those. Bye. And discard. Alright, so it's our turn. I will spend a clue to automatically disengage, or to evade. It says evade, not disengage, correct? I want to make sure I haven't been doing that wrong. Automatically evade. So evade means exhaust. Go bye-bye. Now I got these two jackasses I got to deal with still. So I'm going to evade them. I am a 4 versus their 2. I'll discard 1 to be a 5 versus their 2. -2 is good. Cost 1. Do it again. Second action, evade. -2 is good. That's the skull. The skull's as many doom as there are. Alright, so I evaded both of those jackasses. Oh, he hunted. I will move him over here. All 3 of these guys go up here. They're all taking a nap up there. And I will evade, and then I will move here. So that I constantly on the run from these assholes. Yeah, I've probably been playing that wrong. It is what it is. It's far too late now, and I'm not going to replay it. Okay. So I think I've been playing Moxie wrong. I think I should have had to put 1 horror on it long ago and made it go away, which really makes that card actually weak as shit. If because it says non-direct damage or horror must be assigned to Moxie before it can be assigned to your investigator. So I was thinking that it was like indirect damage, and I think there is things that do that, but I feel like I should have had to put horror on it long ago. So with that, I'm just going to discard it now. I'm not going to replay this mission. I'm not going to go back and unwind the whole damn thing. But I am going to just discard it now. I think I've been playing it wrong. So we will just go ahead and pay the penalty as best as I can now. Anyways, so it is now the end of my turn. So the hunters are going to hunt. He'll move here because that still gets him the same distance from me as if he put here. So we'll move him there, and that'll be the end of the round. So we will ready. Another hard knocks. And we are frozen in fear. That sucks. Frozen in fear is real bad, actually. Alright, so that is our turn. I am going to move. So 1, 2 actions right there. I generate a resource for Lone Wolf. Forgot to do that. I've definitely not been healing or the horror from this because I've succeeded by 2 or more a few times. I need to do that. Keep that in mind. Alright, so 1, 2 because of being frozen in fear. It's a terror, treachery, the revelation of put that into my threat area. And then the first time I perform one of the following actions, move, fight, or evade each round, it costs me 1 additional action. And then at the end of the turn, I can test Brain 3 to get rid of it. So it costs me 2 actions to move there. And now I can spend one resource to move to any rail location. I might do that here after the hunters move. Like at the beginning of my next turn, I might. While I am here, I am going to spend one, two, to get rid of to play the class with Black Onyx. It is an asset, so I just put it into play to get it out of my hand. So that makes it costs only one, but this makes it cost two. So this now goes bye-bye. Discard that. And now the class with Black Onyx is no longer choking my hand. And that'll be my last action. So here we go. Hunters are going to hunt. He moves one, checks to see if I'm there or I'm not. He goes here, so he engages me but does not attack. Both of these assholes up here, they're also hunting me. And they go 1, 2, and engage me here. At the end of my turn, I have to test Brain 3, so I will do that really quickly. Test Brain 3, I am with Brain 3, so I will discard. Ooh, I don't even think I have a way to discard. Shit. So we'll just test it outright and see what happens. Yeah, I don't. I discarded my Arcane Studies, which means I'm totally effed on boosting Brain. -1, so we did fail, so we still keep Frozen in Fear. That is going to hurt us really, really bad. Fuck. That is poor. Like, really, really bad. Okay. So, those guys are now on us. Maybe just time to fight them and get it over with. He hunts. Put him here. All right, none of those guys actually attack me. So that is the end of the round. We're one away. And I can spend a fast action. So I can actually end it right now. So I will spend a fast action to put a doom on the agenda. And now we have succeeded. And we have gotten to the end of the third night. Flip it. All right, it says, dawn at last. The sun rises and dispels the darkness. A warm fog envelops the city, blotting out the sky. If I have more conviction than doubt, I proceed to advance Act 2B. So we flip to Act 2B. This is the Shepherd's Crook. You lose track of yourself within the city as you flee for your life. Your feet move of their own accord. The beating of sinewy wings and screeching of creatures above you spurs you onward. Soon you find yourself running down a narrow avenue, passing a set of heavy iron gates. You are in a dead end and a court with tall old houses on either side. You turn back towards the entrance and breathe a sigh of relief as you see the sun rising once more over the skyline of Paris. As though dispersed by the sunlight, the figure that had been chasing you folds into the shadows and vanishes. Just as you are about to leave, you spot a plaque next to a red-brown door atop a steep, narrow staircase. It reads, N. Ingram. We check our campaign log. If you intruded on a secret meeting, we proceed to Resolution 2. Otherwise, we get Resolution 1. We get Resolution 1. All right, Resolution 1. That was a pain in the ass. And I know, just to cap it for everybody who wants to watch, I'm aware that I made some mistakes in this, especially the Moxie. I think the Moxie made a pretty significant difference. From a campaign standpoint, I'm literally want to play just because I want to see the story. So if it ended up altering it to, a point where I ended up probably succeeding where I might have failed, honestly, it is what it is. I want to actually just see the story. I want to tell the story. I want you guys to be able to see the story play out and in my adventure. And I do my best to play the game as straight as possible. But if I misinterpret something or I play the rules incorrectly, I do apologize for that. But I am trying my best. And there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of things to understand. And it is what it is. I'm not going to go rewind and replay a quest over and over again because I made a simple mistake. I'm just not going to do that. So I appreciate you guys bearing with me. And let's go ahead and read our Resolution 1. It says, Resolution 1, it says, you can only assume this house belongs to Nigel Akrham, the director of The King in Yellow. At last, you have finally found your quarry. And yet, it is of little relief to your straining sanity. You feel like a dog being led by a leash, your fate decided by a cruel master who has long kept you in the dark. You push these gloomy thoughts to the back of your mind and knock on Mr. Akrham's door. There is no response but a flock of magpies that scatter from the rooftop at the sudden noise. You try the doorknob, hoping you won't have to resort to more forceful measures. To your surprise, you find the door unlocked. Inside Nigel's home is a mess of notes, old books, and strange diagrams. Covering the coffee table in his living room is an old faded map bearing many fold creases and tattered edges. It looks to be an incomplete map of the catacombs beneath Paris, or at least a section of it. The food in his pantry is old and rotten. There is no sign of anyone having lived here for years, and yet the ink upon the living room walls is wet and fresh. Over and over across nearly every inch of the wallpaper it reads, "He is already here." All right, we check our campaign log, or record our campaign log. Go ahead and get that out here. We record our campaign log that we have found Nigel's home. So we found Nigel's home. We'll remove all of the cultist tablet and elder thing tokens from the bag and add 2 cultist tokens to the bag. Okay. Jordan Perry is not in the victory display, so he is still alive, and we gain experience equal to the victory X value of each card in the victory display. Okay, so there's a lot, because I think we went through everywhere. So no, 1 there, because I investigated that completely. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I get 4. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we get 4. There were no enemies. I did not defeat any enemies this time. So let's go make sure that I read that correctly. Investigator earns experience equal to victory X value of each card in the victory display. Yep. So we have 4. Okay. And we would move on to next week's scenario. Scenario 6, the Pallid Mask. So there we go, folks. Next week, we're looking at the Pallid Mask Scenario 6 for Jenny's Path to Carcosa. I appreciate you guys checking out my videos here, and especially these longer ones that run like 2 hours when I'm doing a playthrough. I really appreciate you guys hanging in there watching them. Please check out all of my other stuff here on YouTube. I also stream periodically over on Twitch. All of my things are under Broncos Gaming World. Check it out over on Facebook and Twitter as well. Also posted a new Lord of the Rings video. I finally beat the son of a bitch quest, the Journey to the Crossroads. So check that video out there if you guys are interested in Lord of the Rings, the living card game. I'm also posting a bunch of Warhammer videos. I'm doing a lot more Warhammer stuff here at home, and I will be posting more and more videos of that stuff as my painting and building comes along. Please like and subscribe to my videos here. It really helps me a lot to get my my channel out there more, to help me improve the content that I'm able to put out there. And I will happily interact with you guys in chat almost every time, as long as the comments and stuff are not.
Boom goes the dynamite.